Tom and Ben News Wikipedia News Edition. On the 11th episode is Google.
Google LLC is an American multinational technology company that specializes in internet-related services and products, which include online advertising technologies, a search engine, cloud computing, software, and hardware.
It is considered one of the big four technology companies alongside Amazon, Apple, and Facebook.
Google was founded in September 1998 by Larry Page and Sergey Brin while they were PhD students at Stanford University in California.
Together they own about 14% of its shares and control 56% of the stockholder voting power through super voting stock.
They incorporated Google as a California privately held company on September 4, 1998 in California.
Google was then reincorporated in Delaware on October 22, 2002.
An initial public offering, IPO, took place on August 19, 2004, and Google moved to its headquarters in Mountain View, California, nicknamed the Googleplex.
In August 2015, Google announced plans to reorganize its various interests as a conglomerate, called Alphabet Incorporated.
Google is Alphabet's leading subsidiary and will continue to be the umbrella company for Alphabet's internet interests.
Sundar Pichai was appointed CEO of Google, replacing Larry Page, who became the CEO of Alphabet.
The company's rapid growth since incorporation has triggered a chain of products, acquisitions, and partnerships beyond Google's core search engine, Google Search.
It offers services designed for work and productivity: Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides, email, Gmail, scheduling and time management, Google Calendar, cloud storage, Google Drive, instant messaging and video chat, Duo, Hangouts, language translation, Google Translate, mapping and navigation, Google Maps, Waze, Google Earth, Street View, video sharing, YouTube, note-taking, Google Keep, and photo organizing and editing, Google Photos.
The company leads the development of the Android mobile operating system, the Google Chrome web browser, and Chrome OS, a lightweight operating system based on the Chrome browser.
Google has moved increasingly into hardware. From 2010 to 2015, it partnered with major electronics manufacturers in the production of its Nexus devices, and it released multiple hardware products in October 2016, including the Google Pixel smartphone, Google Home smart speaker, Google Wi-Fi mesh wireless router, and Google Daydream virtual reality headset.
Google has also experimented with becoming an internet carrier, Google Fiber, Google Fi, and Google Station. Google.com is the most visited website in the world.
Several other Google services also figure in the top 100 most visited websites, including YouTube and Blogger.
Google was the most valuable brand in the world as of 2017, but has received significant criticism involving issues such as privacy concerns, tax avoidance, antitrust, censorship, and search neutrality. Google began in January 1996 as a research project by Larry Page and Sergey Brin when they were both PhD students at Stanford University in Stanford, California.
The project initially involved an unofficial third founder, Scott Hassan, the original web programmer who wrote much of the code for the original Google search engine, but he left before Google was officially founded as a company, Hassan went on to pursue a career in robotics and founded the company Willow Garage in 2006.
While conventional search engines rank results by counting how many times the search terms appeared on the page, they theorized about a better system that analyzed the relationships among websites.
They called this algorithm PageRank. It determined a website's relevance by the number of pages and the importance of those pages that linked back to the original site.
Page told his ideas to Hassan, who began writing the code to implement Page's ideas. Page and Rin originally nicknamed the new search engine Backrub because the system checked backlinks to estimate the importance of a site.
Hassan as well as Alan Sternberg were cited by Page and Rin as being critical to the development of Google.
Ray F. Motwani and Terry Winograd later co-authored with Page and Rin the first paper about the project, describing PageRank and the initial prototype of the Google search engine, published in 1998.
H. Torgark, A. Molina and Jeff Ullman were also cited as contributors to the project.
PageRank was influenced by a similar page ranking and site scoring algorithm earlier used for RankDex, developed by Robin Lee in 1996, with Larry Page's PageRank patent including a citation to Lie's earlier RankDex patent. Lee later went on to create the Chinese search engine Baidu. Eventually, they changed the name to Google. The name of the search engine originated from a misspelling of the word Google, the number 1, followed by 100 zeros, which was picked to signify that the search engine was intended to provide large quantities of information. The domain name for Google was registered on September 15, 1997, and the company was incorporated on September 4, 1998.
It was based in the garage of a friend, Susan Wojcicki, in Menlo Park, California.
Craig Silverstein, a fellow PhD student at Stanford, was hired as the first employee. Google was initially funded by an August 1998 contribution of $100,000 from Andy Bechtolsheim, co-founder of Sun Microsystems. The money was given before Google was incorporated.
Google received money from 3 other angel investors in 1998. Amazon.com founder Jeff Bezos, Stanford University computer science professor David Sherrington, and entrepreneur Ram Shriram.
Between these initial investors, friends, and family, Google raised around $1 million, which is what allowed them to open up their original shop in Menlo Park, California. After some additional small investments through the end of 1998 to early 1999, a new $25 million round of funding was announced on June 7, 1999, with major investors including the venture capital firms Kleiner Perkins and Sequoia Capital. In March 1999, the company moved its offices to Palo Alto, California, which is home to several prominent Silicon Valley technology startups.
The next year, Google began selling advertisements associated with search keywords against Page and Rin's initial opposition toward an advertising-funded search engine.
To maintain an uncluttered page design, advertisements were solely text-based.
In June 2000, it was announced that Google would become the default search engine provider for Yahoo, one of the most popular websites at the time, replacing Inktomi.
In 2003, after outgrowing 2 other locations, the company leased an office complex from Silicon Graphics at 1600 Amphitheater Parkway in Mountain View, California.
The complex became known as the Googleplex, a play on the word Googleplex, the number 1 followed by Google zeros.
3 years later, Google bought the property from SGI for $319 million.
By that time, the name Google had found its way into everyday language, causing the verb Google to be added to the Merriam-Webster Collegiate Dictionary and the Oxford English Dictionary. Denoted as to use the Google search engine to obtain information on the internet.
Additionally, in 2001 Google's investors felt the need to have a strong internal management, and they agreed to hire Eric Schmidt as the chairman and CEO of Google. Google's initial public offering, IPO, took place 5 years later on August 19, 2004.
At that time, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, and Eric Schmidt agreed to work together at Google for 20 years until the year 2024.
At IPO, the company offered 19,605,052 shares at a price of $85 per share.
Shares were sold in an online auction format using a system built by Morgan Stanley and Credit Suisse underwriters for the deal.
The sale of $1.67 billion gave Google a market capitalization of more than $23 billion. In October 2006, Google announced that it had acquired the video sharing site YouTube for $1.65 billion in Google stock, and the deal was finalized on November 13, 2006.
On April 13, 2007, Google reached an agreement to acquire DoubleClick for $3.1 billion, transferring to Google valuable relationships at DoubleClick and with web publishers and advertising agencies.
In 2005, the Washington Post reported on a 700% increase in third quarter profit for Google, largely thanks to large companies shifting their advertising strategies from newspapers, magazines, and television to the internet.
In May 2011, the number of monthly unique visitors to Google surpassed 1 billion for the first time.
By 2011, Google was handling approximately 3 billion searches per day.
To handle this workload, Google built 11 data centers around the world, with some several thousand servers in each.
These data centers allow Google to handle the ever-changing workload more efficiently. On August 15, 2011, Google made its largest ever acquisition to date when it announced that it would acquire Motorola Mobility for $12.5 billion. This purchase was made in part to help Google gain Motorola's considerable patent portfolio on mobile phones and wireless technologies to help protect Google in its ongoing patent disputes with other companies, mainly Apple and Microsoft, and to allow it to continue to freely offer Android. We will continue about Google in part 2, so stay tuned.